Thank you for playing, Paul.
Yeah. Well, they say when the student is ready, you can show fears. The student was not ready.
All right, so y'all have played the fewest Aegis theme. Now, we joked, James and I joked on the train, like, oh, it'll be me, more experience versus 3 newer players, right? And it's pretty straightforward map.
Know that we're going to be watching tape, though.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, I didn't watch the tape on this map because it doesn't exist.
It does now.
Right. So thoughts on the map first, then we can expand it to Aegis theme. But
Yeah, I
think
think we talked about some of this as we went, but
Sure.
I really liked the choice between doubling up on colors and just going for income. Like, there was a lot of pressure to push the fashion track. And so that meant doing Runway Diva instead of Loco, and it meant taking a short run because you wanted to get the Fashionista bonus. And I think that's very cool, because it can get just sort of one-tracked in vanilla Aegis Steam, where you just go for
Loco, urbanized, right? Yeah,
big long runs.
Right.
And I liked that this twisted it up some. And the map, the design with the cleric pops, beautiful color. Like, I love the look. So I thought it was a great map.
I would like to establish that I also planned on watching tape, but it was all in Betamax.
So there's that.
Yeah,
right.
and what's going to play that? Look, you're right. That's being very generous by saying I've played the least amount of Age of Steam. Like, I have played so little Age of Steam.
It's okay. Like, we all have been there.
How
like,
you get into it.
The only reason I'm even mentioning that, though, is because even though I was definitely out from the very first move of the very first turn, I still absolutely enjoyed the experience. I do understand the game enough to know exactly what you were talking about with the thrust of the game seems to be getting yourself in a position to make those long runs and just cash in. And it's amazing what just this little square right here does.
Yep.
I have not played a lot of crazy Age of Steam maps, obviously, but this feels like a different game, in a very good way. Like, it's more than just like, oh, these hexes are a little more expensive and make sure you build in this area at this time. No, just like having to decide. I'm watching you guys and I'm listening to what you guys are talking about. Having to decide between those big marathon runs to get that versus really investing in the end game with the small cube deliveries just to get this up here and fighting over that little tiny space, the runway diva there.
And the steal the spotlight, I would argue, both felt really important. Yeah.
We're all 3 of us.
For
real close to 48 points.
And
it's
again,
delivery and a diva away.
If I get diva on that last turn, I get it.
Yeah.
And if I get diva, right, that's why I was hoping to go here, and then I realized that, oh wait, no, they could just absolutely bid me out and I passed and then that's it. But I tried it.
No, for sure.
It's amazing how much the alteration the game undergoes with just this sheet of paper here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and just watching the other maps by Joshua and Hero and this set here, it's odd to describe an Age of Steam map as sandboxy, but it really felt that way quite a bit, right? Because I didn't know which direction to go, and that's not a criticism, that's a compliment. Because I'm wondering if I just played vanilla Age of Steam and pushed my Loco up, if I would have been competitive, and I think I actually might have been, because I was making such small deliveries. But if I look over here, if I hadn't delivered so many purples, and maybe one less red, I could have gotten to that 5, and it would have put me up here with you guys, So it's just, there's a lot of interesting decisions, and a lot of space to make those decisions, which is really cool. And with those other maps, like Steampunk and was that Escape Plan?
Yep, and there's also Bahia.
Yep, and Hive Mind.
Honeybee, Hive Mind.
Right, yeah.
Those two, the last two that we just mentioned, we haven't gotten to.
Yeah, they have these Euro elements to them. Yeah, they're really cool.
Very Knizia-esque right here. Make sure everything stays in balance.
Yeah, Yeah.
Don't let one thing get too far ahead.
And I think if we were to play this again, it would be completely different. I built a ton of tracks because I was trying to set up these long deliveries and then realized, oh no.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I don't think that's probably the right. So I had to kind of stop and pivot mid-game, which got me third place. But I'm amazed that you only had 9 shares or 8 shares. That is incredible. Props to you.
Yeah, that shocked the
thanks.
hell out of me.
Yeah.
The fact that you were able
But
to.
it didn't, as I say, reflect
You won.
quite as.
No. I get what he's
just
saying.
barely.
No,
I see, yeah.
But the fact is, normally,
Yeah.
normally,
It would be a
a
blowout.
gap of this, and it's a bloodbath.
Right. Yeah. True.
Right. And I'm not saying, ooh, kudos to me. I'm saying that's cool that you have varying paths here,
Yeah.
and that's the gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think if we played it again right now, it would probably, all 4 of us, I feel, would be closer than we are.
Very nice
Definitely.
of you to say.
And just and one last thing too, with the sandboxing nature, there was 2 turns in a row. I think nobody took Urbanize,
Yeah.
Yep.
or almost didn't take Urbanize.
Well,
which is pretty
round
incredible.
2, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which is so rare. Again, depending on the map, but as a general
Yeah.
kind of tenet, it's figure out your long deliveries, get there, and deliver them as best you can. Usually.
Yeah.
And no, I love maps that basically what Hero's doing, which is taking the focus of Loco and Urbanize, which is the 2 strongest,
Yeah.
usually, actions in Aegis theme, and making it to where maybe they aren't necessarily, or at least there's a discussion to be had and a decision tree to be had that doesn't force you to do that. And isn't that what you want? Like, you
Yeah.
want, that's the amazing thing about this Aegis theme system is, I mean, look, it's complex in that it's a page and a half of rules
Right.
as opposed to a paragraph or 2. But did anybody, I mean, outside of
No.
me trying to pink those off at the end of the game, it felt like the rule, I wasn't competing with the rules. Like,
No,
I wasn't,
definitely not.
it wasn't in my head. It was, oh, what can I do? Except, it doesn't matter the cube, that one time, like, I'm like, I can just, whatever, as long as I use somebody else's track. I love that. I'm curious. What I'm challenging the designer, again, no interest in designing myself, but is there a way to make these specific? They are powerful when they need to, like at times on certain maps, but like making those maybe not the focus, but doing kind of like what they did with the Diva and Spotlight, Steal the Spotlight. Like, I would like to see something like that done, which maybe is in work. I don't know, but that was cool. That was a fun map.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what they do next.
I mean,
You know?
and look, I realize Hero's here, and I realize Joshua's here, so it feels like patronizing or blowing smoke. But seriously, like, everyone has been a hit.
Yeah.
Like, they have nailed every map. So, now I don't want to put pressure on them, but keep it going, y'all. Like, I'm really, really excited to see what else. And it just shows that the system is healthy, and there's a number of designers designing new maps. And yeah, I'll whatever you make, we'll play.
Hasn't there been a spike in the amount of Age of Steam maps that have come out in the last few years?
Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy to think that if you describe this game to someone who's not really super familiar with games, and you say Age of Steam, it's a game. Well, yeah, it's a simple game with between 4 and however many rounds, with a simple 10-step process, and that kind of thing. Yet, how absolutely wonderfully flexible the whole system is, and you get mad geniuses coming up with stuff like this. I do not regret my decision to immediately rebuy it after being reintroduced to it with you guys.
And on that note, it very much, I mean, thanks to Eagle, right, and Tool and all that, there's a renaissance of Age of Steam.
Yeah.
It's a win for all of us that dig it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what else. And again, this is the type of map the acrylic tiles were made for.
I can't imagine just looking at it with all this green
I mean,
everywhere.
grab them. They're right there.
I don't want to imagine.
Right.
I don't want to see it.
It just went.
It just...
It was just clash.
I mean, and the funny thing is like they look great on the standard maps.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so much better.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And where else do you get to see a bunch of guys act like divas? Weimar didn't let us do that.
No, they did not. We were serious and angry.
Yeah.
And I think the feedback was that this was a beginner-friendly map, which is also sort of why we
Yeah,
went in
like,
this direction.
yeah.
And
So
I absolutely think it is.
I missed the memo on that one. Sure.
Joshua and I had a conversation on the train about this, right?
Yeah.
I was like, apparently, Honeybee Hive Mind is their most popular with the advanced or experienced. So I was like, oh, maybe not that map for tonight.
Oh, I mean, this was a great level.
Yeah, and you were worried about, but no, I mean, you not only won, but it seemed like y'all felt mostly comfortable.
I think so. Yeah. No, I think it's a great map for beginners.
Yeah. Like I'm okay. The only nitpick that I could really have on this,
If we had to have one.
I'm of the mind that these should be modular, because on a lot of maps, whenever there are these on the map, it's easy to forget that these are actions because you're used to looking here. So having a little tile that we could put out there, streaming or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it, and it's not just this map, but legit. Now, these are a huge part of the game.
Nobody forgot about those at all.
Understood.
Just because they were so.
But that's
powerful.
something to think about, right? I mean, yes, it's a pain in the butt. You got card stock or what.
Yeah.
I get it, right? And the only other thing is these are easy to bump over, like at the beginning, so be careful. I do like the idea of having those off the map. Honestly, other than that, like I can't even complain about the colors, because the fact that these are purple, clearly with the slashes as opposed to the blue.
Yeah.
The blue could be a little bluer as opposed to it did it to match the background. I get it. And that's more gray than black. But again, I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
I can't. And I guess maybe the fact that all of us were able to get at least some of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's a bad thing.
No, because we were very close to having the 5.
Yeah. But didn't get that,
Didn't
which
get
is which I think is good, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So it's achievable if you
Right.
are paying
Yeah.
attention. all day long.
Working that, right?
Yeah.
With that. And I'm curious to see if you can go like super short deliveries. Can you outpace the amount because you're taking shares, and then that's costing you money if you're not making.
You got to.
There's
find
still
that
some.
sweet spot, 100%. Yeah, you can't abandon the core mechanic.
You
of
can't.
Just fashion.
But you have to focus on fashion almost as much, if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
What is the core asking for a friend? What is the core mechanic?
Getting roots long enough to increase your income. Right.
Making money.
Hero says, thanks, guys, so much for playing and commenting. Honestly, I really enjoy watching live. Try the other maps. I'll join and watch them for sure. So awesome. Appreciate it. Hey, what time is it over in Japan right now, Hero? I'm curious. It's 11 p.m. here on the East Coast of the U.S. And Board Game Bree says, please feel free to act like divas whenever you stream my games.
Oh, I have permission. Thank you.
All right, good. All right.
That's what I was hoping for.
All right, so like furnace, stuff. Yeah, right, yeah.
It's probably like, 7 in the morning over there, I think?
It's something.
Japan? Yeah.
Joshua says, we've started transitioning to including all special actions on the board for that reason, instead of just having to map specific actions on the board. And the other thing, on that note, I've also kind of reached out to Eagle, because Randall's a pretty good friend of mine, the CEO, and asked him if he can, the next time they run the a Kickstarter for maps or whatever, if they can have a couple of blank offs. Instead, because, these work, don't get me wrong, that's fine, but have a blank off for, hey, productions out of play on this map, so you just completely block it off.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's just a nice thing. The production on these are already great, so why not just tie it all in, right? So it's 10 a.m. Oh, almost noon, she said. All right.
Oh, well, there we go.
There you go. So, yeah, cool. All right, that's a wrap. if y'all haven't heard, I'm going to the this isn't a ooh, it's a, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, gathering of friends. A bunch of the game group is actually going to be gone from the 11th to the 21st. Streaming will commence after that. We may have some stuff coming up, thanks to these guys and others, that'll be pre-recorded. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Anybody got anything else?
Nope. Looking forward to more.
Yeah.
So did that scratch? You got to understand, John's been like, more Age of Steam? More Age of Steam? Can we play more Age of Steam? So did that scratch you?
For now. Until tomorrow.
It's about 7 a.m.
Right, yeah. Wake up, get ready. Wake up.
Got any more of those acrylic tiles?
Right. I'm Edward.
John.
James.
Paul.
All right, y'all have a great night. Thanks again to Joshua, Hero.
Oh, boy.
I love you.
Oh, that's your runway celebration.
That was glorious.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks to Hero and Joshua for sending the maps, as well as designing them, being in chat all night. I appreciate it, yeah. And everybody else for watching. Y'all have a great night. Take care. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Later, y'all.
Good night.
Hey, thanks for watching, y'all. Hopefully you found it helpful, useful, enjoyed it, something along those lines. And if you did, maybe watch one of those other videos. Consider supporting us over on Patreon. And always like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Thanks, y'all.